Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called the India-Israel relationship a marriage made in heaven and now actually being put into practice on earth by himself and Prime Minister Modi. Yes, day 2 in Tel Aviv, and the friendship and the love and the festivities do continue. The bonhomie has increased even more. A joint statement has been put out some time ago. The details so far are 7 major agreements inked between India and Israel, a $40 million fund in place for research and development in the areas of biotechnology, and one mention by Prime Minister Modi of West Asia in the context that there have been discussions between him and Prime Minister Netanyahu about West Asia, and India's position is that peace should prevail through dialogue. So what do you make out of all of it? Let's speak now to Mr. Ranjan Mathai. He's former Foreign Secretary, has served as Indian Ambassador in Israel as well, brings with him this wealth of experience which can put a more clear perspective on what's going on in Tel Aviv right now. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Mathai.
You're welcome. It's good to be here.
First up, why has it taken 25 years for an Indian Prime Minister to visit Israel?
Well, it's because the Prime Minister has chosen to go at this point in time, but it's not as if it's the first time we are having a very high level visit. It's actually the 20th anniversary of very, very high level political visits, with 1997 the Israeli president coming here, and in 2015 our president going to Israel. But certainly there is a huge symbolism attached to the Indian Prime Minister going to Israel for the first time since we established diplomatic relations.
Let me put that question more clearly. Have Prime Ministers before this hesitated in visiting Israel and having this open display of friendship and bonhomie, preferring to keep the depth of that relationship away from the public eye?
I wouldn't say so. Perhaps it hasn't acquired as high a priority in the planning of prime ministerial visits, but I'm not aware of any particular hesitation in planning a visit. But certainly for Prime Minister Modi, in his global outlook, there is a very, very high priority attached to stepping up the relationship with Israel, and that is, I believe, a good step.
All right. So now crucial to this meeting and the extent of conversations which have happened are, of course, agreements and cooperation in cyber security, in agriculture, in water conservation. But what do you think is the key factor to look out for? Is it those big defense deals?
Well, certainly the defense deals are a very, very important element in our bilateral relationship. The very, very high technology of Israeli defense capabilities adds tremendous amount of value to our defense forces. There's no questioning that. But it is equally true that we have a very substantive relationship in all other fields, including the economic field, including in agriculture, in water management, in science and technology, in what you would call broadly the people-to-people relationship. Just as a reminiscence, when I was there about 20 years ago, we counted that in the first 7, 8, 10 years of our relationship, since the diplomatic relationship started, we had as many as 9 or 10 chief ministers of states visiting Israel. Now, why would they do that unless there is a very, very strong element of mutuality of interest in other areas which are critical to the lives of our people?
There has also always been an attempt diplomatically to keep a balancing act, for India at least, between Israel and Palestine. Do you think there will be an attempt in that direction in the near future, because Prime Minister Modi is not going to Ramallah, like a lot of Indian statesmen have visited both sides? He's also just mentioned West Asia very briefly in that joint statement. What significance do you attach to that?
Well, I think, the balancing has always been part of our diplomacy, and that balancing has already been done. We had the Palestinian president visit India not so long ago, and certainly he would have been made aware that our Prime Minister would be visiting Israel. The standalone visit, I don't think, requires just now a separate act of balancing.
Right.
West Asia, yes, because I think the Indian interests in the broader West Asian region are absolutely vital for us. We cannot emphasize enough just how vital it is when you have 7 million people from your country, 7 million of your countrymen living, working in that area. Certainly the energy security of your country depends on it, and you certainly don't want to see greater chaos spreading, greater conflict spreading. So I think it's a mutual interest of both Israel and India to see that peace prevails in the broader West Asian region, and if there is something we can do by expanding the dialogue, that's certainly a very important issue for the two prime ministers to talk about.
Okay, so former Foreign Secretary Ranjan Mathai on Israel, he says that this journey is only beginning. Thank you so much for speaking to BloombergQuint.
Thank you.